Hi guys. All right, today I'm gonna do a quick video on the car's information console. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for watching. Okay, so basically information console right there. I'm gonna go over some of these buttons real quick first because this is really how we access the settings on the console. So this arrow right here brings up the settings that we want, and then this button here, when you press it, selects that setting. Okay, so pressing that arrow brings this up to the left here, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the bottom by using that scroll wheel I showed you. This right here, just up and down, rolling it up and down selects these options. So I'm going to start at the bottom, so you hit the arrow and you can scroll up to get to the very bottom. As you can see, that's settings. So I'm going to start at the bottom real quick. Over here in settings, and you select it, and then you're in miles. You can just press that right button right there, the right arrow, and then you can select between US and metric, and then you would press the scroll button. So this scrolls and is a button. All right, back to settings. And when we're in there, you can go down to speed warning if you want that on or off. Again, just press the scroll button, and you can view a tutorial as well when you're parked. Back to settings. Now I'm going to go up, and this is really what I wanted to cover. When you press that icon, you are in your layout, basically, and you can pick which layout you want. I keep it in enhanced. As you can see there, it shows a max, what it thinks your range will be, and a min, and then it also shows when you're regenning and the power and the kilowatts you're getting back, how much power you're using in kilowatts and how much you're regenning in kilowatts. If you go to modern, it simplifies the view, as you can see here. So modern, it just shows you where your battery scale is and how many miles it thinks you'll get, and then it just shows acceleration and brake on the right side there. So this is the only time you'll use this screen, is to set it, whether you want modern or enhanced, and then you'd leave it alone after that. Okay, so now going all the way to the top, this kind of brings up what you want in the middle of your screen here. So with information, I do distance. I've selected I, and so that's what comes up in the middle of the screen. So right now it shows distance and average miles per kilowatt hour, if I want to keep that on there. The other thing you can display in the information screen is your average speed, miles per hour, your tire pressure. I don't know why you'd ever want to just keep this always on your screen, but maybe you're monitoring one of your tires. And then your timer for the trip, if you want that on the screen all the time. Driver assistance, which is also, up there at the top. So, it's just another option you have, but again, not sure why. And then you could just have a blank screen, which I think a lot of people would like. Personally, I like to keep distance and average, and I wish this had the timer as well on it. I don't need an entire screen for just the timer. It'd be nice if I had my distance for the trip, my average miles per kilowatt hour for the trip, and the timer right here on that screen as well. But to clear this, as you can see in blue there, you just hold the check mark button, which is the scroll button. Just hold that down to reset. As you can see, over 400 miles and getting 4.9 miles per kilowatt hour, but that's because most of my driving is local driving, and you can see my average speed is only 20.5 miles per hour, neighborhoods, things like that. I have done quite a bit of freeway driving lately, but hasn't been as much to increase the average speed over just these 400 miles. Okay, hitting the left button again, going from the I to music, and if you click that, then you see no device found, but you can have, instead of information, you can have your music here on the screen. I guess it's a nice option to have. When you have your infotainment over here, you can have your audio on the screen right here as well. So maybe you just want it so you don't have to look down and to the right a little bit, and then it's right there in front of you. You'll also have volume buttons behind the steering wheel back here, up and down volume buttons here, which I think are really nice to keep them off of the steering wheel, kind of natural where your fingers are too. And on this side behind the steering wheel, you can go up and down as far as tracks or selecting the next song. But you can always have your music displayed right here in front of you. And then navigation as well. So you can always know if you're using the car's navigation, you can have it on the infotainment or on this screen in front of you. You can always know which direction you're going. Again, I don't really understand the redundancy, but it's an option. And it might be kind of nice to have something right in front of your face as far as where you're going. Using CarPlay though, it's always on the infotainment screen, so I'm not going to use this here. The next screen would be phone. Again, redundant. You have it on your infotainment. You can just press the phone icon here, then back to this screen. And you know, modern is actually kind of nice. It's clean. But do you see how when I switch to modern, it's still on the phone in the information in the middle there? Because that is what I've selected over here instead of the eye up here. So with the modern screen, you can still have all that information in the middle. You just have a little bit less information on the left and right of that. But you can zip through these as well. So for timer, you know, hold down that check, the scroll wheel to start the timer. And there we go. And then, you know, press it to stop at the end of your trip and hold it down to reset. Driver's assist, blank, which is kind of nice if you just want something minimal. And then left and right is minimal as well. But I'm going to come back down here, click that, go to enhanced, come back over here, click information, and back to how I like it set up, because I really like to know my max and min and to see how I'm doing with my average, and then of course the kilowatts I'm powering and regenning. So that's kind of nice to have, but pretty simple. I wouldn't say it's a very modern information console. It's, you know, basic in a lot of ways, but at the same time I think it has, you know, everything I need. I'm pretty used to just knowing my average miles per gallon in a car, knowing how much I've traveled or the distance I've gone over that time. And, you know, what more do you need? And an EV, I guess what more do you need? It was kind of what I said about the infotainment as well, is that it would be nice to have a percentage right here on the screen, somewhere at least. It would maybe be even nicer if I had it right here, right in front of me on this screen with the max min, maybe just a percentage of what it thinks the battery's percentage is at. Someone told me, you know what, it's on the Chevy app, and it is on the Chevy app, but driving, don't want to look on the Chevy app when I'm actually in the car. I want it on the screens that the car has provided me. So that's kind of where I would want it. The app is great for when you're charging the car and you're not at the car and you want to see what percentage you're at or how much you've added. But when I'm in the car, it'd be nice to have a little more information here. Definitely percent state of charge. But yeah, pretty basic, which in a lot of ways is nice. I mean, some EVs are getting away from having this screen at all, which I can totally understand because like I said, I'm being redundant about the fact that a lot of the information on the screen is redundant. And it's true. I mean, a lot of the information that's here is also here, except in this car for the speed and other things. But I could have, you know, my average miles per kilowatt hour on this infotainment. You know, if they wanted to, they could put, as they've done in other EVs, my distance, my speed that I'm going, all of that just on this screen over here, and not have this at all, or use this space for something else. The future Chevy EVs are going to have a bigger screen here that kind of flows into their 17-inch screen over here. And does it look cool? Yeah. And it'll probably be pretty nice, because it is kind of nice to just look straight ahead instead of having to look to your right, although it's also not a big deal, you know, from my driver position to see my infotainment information over there as well. So I don't know, I kind of get both arguments for having a screen right here, but also for kind of going minimalistic and either eliminating it or paring it down. But anyway, that's the screen on the Bolt. Not too long of a video this time because it is pretty simple, which in a lot of ways I do like. So anyway, thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe for future videos, and we'll catch you later.